Hello again, everyone. This is Game Collector with part 2 of Gundam Month. This week we have the Reborns Gundam, which was created by the innovators, reverse engineered from the 00 Gundam to use these. Yes, the twin drive system, featured primarily on the 00 and this thing, and not really featured on any other suit. Unless you count the Quanta from the movie, but I don't have him, so I'll have it, so... Moving on! He has the GN Buster Rifle, which can fold up. Unfortunately, due to the fact that it's on his arm, means it's rather unwieldy and kind of impairs his posability. The shield does similar, but because it's going straight down instead of bending backwards, or is really long. Yeah, for example, the rifle is even longer than the shield is. His backpack makes him the backpack makes it rather a back-heavy figure, and because the backpack, the fang pieces, fin bits, or whatever, the giant things on his back make him back-heavy, and those don't come attached to it when you pull him out of the box. Let's see if you can, when you'll be able to see the whole thing, if ever. Yeah. When in rifle mode, this thing actually hits the ground. That's how much bigger it is than the shield. So I will just attach the accessories here for a moment. Set them off to the side here, just to show off his posability. Now, because of the giant things, his arms do have some restricted movement, and which is unusual because he has two he's actually on two ball joints right here. One that goes into the body, and one that goes into the shoulder hinge piece here. And his shoulders are actually double hinged. I wonder what that could be for, you know. Nothing useful. And he has a double jointed elbow right here. I don't know why I keep calling it a he, because it's a suit. It has no personality. Granted, its pilot is a guy, so. And his arm can also bend. Really funny. I wonder what that's for. Huh. And got a really big knee joint. Not as big as the 00s, but still pretty big. And it also has the same ankle joint that the 00 has, but I really didn't go into it. But it can really sustain some really big poses. And yeah, it has high-heeled feet. And that's about as far as the legs can go. Nope, a little bit farther, yeah. So it can do partial splits. There is one thing accounting to balance with this foot. If you have it like this, it's not going to stand upright. So I have it tilted back a bit, so it's sitting on the edge of the foot and the heel, which actually gives him a lot better balance than on the heel and the foot. As for other abilities, he has these little beam sabers that you can pull out and put into his normal holding things hands, which I put in there, which were in there preemptively, so I could get all of this done and out of the way. And this one, while they are shaped as traditional beam sabers, they're They're rounded instead of the flat ones. They are also orange and incredibly huge. The reason why they're orange is because this is powered by a fake, by fake twin drives. Or by, fake GN drives, which do run out of energy and aren't exactly all that great when compared to the originals. Which have, what is that word for it? I know it means, like some sort of renewable self-recharging energy, but I can't think of the word right now. Ah, right, semi-perpetual energy. Which is kind of what bothers me. How can it be semi-perpetual? While presently in the world of physics, perpetual energy is impossible, which is why I actually like the Reborns better than the 00. Yes, I know, slander. Oh my god, I must be destroyed. But by the laws of physics, a GN Tau drive is more feasible and possible. Though, granted, in the first season they were tuned to have higher energy weapon output, and thus they would have a fallout-like effect and cause cancer and radiation, and disable people from regrowing limbs? What? Anyway, aside from the holding things hands that you see, and yes, this also has the little itty-bitty tiny joints that the 00 has, but thankfully they're not as loose, nor am I nearly as worried about them. It also comes with standard... get in there. Comes with the standard fists, which if left out become extraordinarily hard to put back in. Get in there, you little devil. Well, he is colored red. But by Gundam standards, anything red is 3 times better! What? And yet it is greatly inferior when compared to the 00 Riser. Figure that out. By Gundam logic, this one should be the better suit. And there it is with the normal I'm gonna punch you in the face hands. Or, I mean fists. And unlike the 00, which did come with a dynamic pose I have fingers hand, this doesn't have so much dynamic, so it trades the dynamic off for not 1, but 2 I have fingers hands. Or just plain open hands. Yeah. These are just kind of plain, do-nothing, at ease, open, relaxed hands. For when you just have the equipment hanging off of it. Now, aside from the hand accessories and its Gundam mode, the shield also can fall down. But, you know, after picking it back up, you can open these little side panels, and if you have the robot Damashi, whatever, the special stage stands that go with it, you can, with a little bit of force and hopefully not a lot, you can pull out the little tiny mini fin fangs from the shield. Yes, all of them come out. There's 2, 3, and 4. And what I would like to see, maybe in the near future, or if they ever got around to it, considering how they love releasing figures with effect parts, I would love to see effect parts that fit over the little things right here. and make them look like little energy swords that go stab, stab, stab. But technically these can be swords or turrets. It just takes a little bit of imagination, so on and so forth. But considering this is anime, who needs imagination? We just want to give you our money for accessories. Now, as with the back, the little ones on the back skirt can come off, but all of them come off. Again, here's 1, 2, 3, 4. But wait! You mean it has even more? Why, yes it does! Even the large ones can come off. All 4 of them do. Yep. And as for additional opposability, this little thing can fold in, and these things can wiggle around. Shaped like a giant X. Which can kind of give you an idea of looking at the Crossbone Gundam. But that's another series, another time, rather. But you can give it the Crossbone Giant X Venrir look. Right there. Like so. But you have to fold in the beam sabers so they don't get in the way. So there's that disadvantage right there. Otherwise, it actually looks pretty cool like this. Again, the little fin, fang, funnel things do come off. Now, with that out of the way, you're wondering, can this guy turn into the Reborns cannon? Well, hell yes he can! You just have to pull the hands out, and pull the hands out again, and take his fat Gundam head and push it into his stomach like that. So he looks like a whack-a-mole or a turtle. And back here, you have to move them into place. Fold the cannons out. And then it gets into the complex stuff. First of all, you have to rotate these about halfway, and then, yeah, rotate them about halfway, turn, and slide them so this little white space is between this red slot on the GN drive. Then you rotate the arm like so. Go halfway again, rotate, and slide in. There you go. You have the arms ready, and then all you have to do for the shoulders is hopefully get them in place like that, and boom! You have the shoulders done. Now the legs. Oh boy, the legs. I hate this part. And you will see why very shortly, but this part not in particular. Raise the foot, make it flat. Raise the heel, make it flat, which will be the foot of the other suit of the back. Then you extend the legs out quite a bit. And again, it doesn't really affect the leg joint too much. And it doesn't really change the height that much either. Now to the part I hate. Splitting the shin. You'll hear a nice, happy little click when it opens, and it'll look big, fat, and gray. Come on. Come on, you red devil. There you go. There's the one. And here comes the other. And there. Now, there are a couple more things you need to do. Pardon me. Raise the one head and lower the chest down. Make sure it's closed. And of course, you need to put the hands in. But I'm only going to put the one hand in. Because it comes with a little special attachment, well, it has two of them. I don't want to put both of them in right now. He has a little three-fingered claw hand. But for the other arm, I'm going to put in this long bit of wire here. Now, why would it need this long bit of wire? Well, if I get it in, I can actually show you what it does. I'm actually kind of afraid because the wire is quite thin while flexible. Very flexible. Yeah, I was afraid of that. That had to happen, didn't it? Yeah, and it doesn't seem to want to go back in either. Oh, this is not good. I have to look at the other one real quick so I can know which end goes inside that little pluggy bit right there. Yeah, I think I've found it. I'm going to have to fix this later, and you can see why I don't really use these parts. Oh! Oh, it just slides right in there, nice and easy. Isn't that convenient? So, I'm probably not going to use that part ever again, for obvious reasons, but if you see on this other little claw back here, there's a little tiny itty bitty hole right there, and it just kind of slides in there like that, and boom! You have the anger whip. Now, of course, what is the GN Reborns cannon without its equipment? Which I'm going to equip it with right now. Lol, lol, lol. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did that. I can't apologize enough for that. Now, thankfully, in this mode, the Buster Rifle won't be as unyieldy because it'll be folded up. Pardon me. I've been talking for a while now, and yeah, this review is going to be probably about 20 minutes. And there. Now, there's one last thing that this can do, even with the little itty-bitty tiny hands, and that would be, as shown in the anime, and the only episode it had appeared in, is hold the beam saber in one hand. Though it's not exactly stable. Now, I'm not really a particular fan of the gun cannon, nor am I a fan of this mode, because it looks like the gun cannon. Yeah. Now, I'm just going to get posability done real quick. You know, he has the full range motion in the knee and the right there. Just about all of the posability from the Reborns Gundam can be in here, though when the shoulders are folded down, like so, it kind of limits the elbow movement. So there's that. The guns do move side to side, and each individual turret can move up and down, though because of the giant fat part in the middle here, they kind of... yeah, you can't actually get them together very close. So you have giant V-shaped guns protruding from the sides of its chest. Pardon me, my throat. So, yeah, he has little tiny wrist movement there, and so on. Now, I'm going to put it back into its Gundam mode so I can show you a few other things. And yes, I'm going to detach its accessories, because I can't talk today. And I'm starting to lose my ability to talk, having been talking for nearly 20 minutes in a row now. So, yeah, I'm in a little bit of... my throat's in a little bit of pain right now. Come on, get out of there. And I don't mean the wire like when I tried to put it in. Ah, there. Thank you. Ah, falling over. Unstable. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. And there, now that his feet are in proper position, I'm not going to remove the shield because, for one, I don't want to, and two, it doesn't get as in the way as much as the rifle does. Put in the little holding things hands. And if you're really lazy and you want to get the Reborns cannon out, all you have to do is just swap the hands. That's it. You don't even need to flip them around because that does get in the way. Close that in a bit. And again, this is why I hate the Reborns cannon, because I have to figure out how to get the legs back in place, and it's not fun. Ugh! So I just leave it as a Gundam while it's sitting on the shelf. Here's the other part I really hate to do, because he gets stuck. There. And last, you just fold this up, fold that down, and make sure that little thruster there is sticking out properly. And make sure that these are folded up so they can either go flat or stick out like a giant X. Now, that aside, he did come with one last accessory, this thing. It took me a while to figure it out, but because I don't have a stand, I can't use it. It pegs right into his groin, and you can make him just whatever. I'm sorry I keep using pronoun there. It makes it stand up on a stand like this. Yeah, bad touch. Now, that aside, I'm going to show you right here, if you can see it. I may have to adjust the camera, and again, I really wish I had a self-focusing camera here, so I'm going to blur him out a bit and then bring it in close. If you can see a tiny bit of red in there, that's runoff from this. That little part by my thumb there. While I was very worried when I started seeing like runoff right here, if you can see that, which you probably can't because the lighting down here is terrible. Right around on the shin or something. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but it was starting to turn pink. And that worried me, but I've had this guy since... Yeah, I've had this guy for an entire year now. Wow. Over a year. Nice. The paint was starting to turn kind of pink, but a very lightish, very, very light pink. It was so light, it still looks white. So if you can't tell, that's good. And it hasn't really the paint hasn't really degraded that much since. So while I thought that was going to be a problem, it really hasn't been a problem. Well, with that being said, this is Game Collector, and I will see you next week with yet another Gundam, hopefully from 00. If not, you're going to see some nice Universal Century action. Later. Oh, sorry. Forgot to adjust the camera there so you can actually see him when I zoomed out. So, again, this has been Game Collector, and welcome to the first ever Gundam month on my show. So, I'll see you next week, hopefully with another figure, and again, 00, if not Universal Century. Later!